Hi, this is Randall here in Texas.
And I'm Matt, here in Michigan. Today, Randall and I are checking out the newest movie in the G.I. Joe franchise. We're taking a look at Snake Eyes. It stars Henry Golding, Andrew Koji, Haruka Abe, and Taikahiro Hira. It is directed by Robert Schwenke, who's also known for Red, R.I.P.D., The Time Traveler's Wife, and Tattoo. Now, before we go any further, if you guys like this review, be sure to give us a thumbs up. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell and set on notifications for our latest videos.
In Snake Eyes, our main character loses his father as a child. Snake Eyes then wanders the globe seeking revenge against his father's killer. An opportunity to find the killer presents itself, and he has to decide what kind of person he really wants to be. It was made on an $88 million budget, but the jury's still out whether or not the box office returns will be worth it because it is only in theaters. It has scored average to below average critical response, but average to slightly above average audience response. Matt, first new G.I. Joe movie in a long while. What did you think of Snake Eyes?
So, this is an action movie, and I thought, the action's pretty good in this film, and I think the story in this movie is serviceable, I guess. So for me, I guess this is like an okay film. What about you, Randall?
All right, so our audience isn't confused. I want to set something straight before we even get into it. This is not an extension or a prequel of the existing G.I. Joe films. And I did not know that going in. I had no expectations going in because those films were kind of eh. But this one I thought was 7/8 of a good movie, Matt.
Like, 7/8? What was
7/8?
the 1/8?
It's so close. What's the 1/8 is near the end, they're just like, oh yeah, that's right, we're an action movie and we got to get our action-y, slocky ending in. And I thought, oh, okay, yep, that's good. You've now made this movie, which I thought had a lot of really good personal moments and really decent, not amazing, but decent characterizations. And now we're just into the action. And it's too much, and it's overdone. And it could have been a much more personal ending than it ended up being.
I wasn't really a big fan of the G.I. Joe Cobra stuff. To me, it felt kind of like tacked on a little bit to kind of like, I don't know if it really elevates or anything. For me, I think this would have been an okay movie if we didn't have that stuff until like an after credit scene.
Yeah, maybe. Definitely the G.I. Joe stuff does seem like it's a little bit tacked on, which, for all I know, it definitely could have been. It is a movie that had reshoots in early 2021. At the same time, I respected the fact that it is a G.I. Joe film, like an origin film for Snake Eyes, who is extremely tied in with G.I. Joe's. And his character, if you know anything about it, has got like 3 or 4 different origin stories. So it's not like it really needs to hold fast to any of the previously established origin stories. It can just go about and tell its own thing. And I think this movie did a decent job of telling this version of Snake Eyes origin stories. I just wish we had something that was like, oh yeah, this is why Snake Eyes doesn't talk.
It looks like Snake Eyes has something to say.
Snake Eyes doesn't talk.
Actually, I'm Henry Golding.
Henry Golding?
I play Snake Eyes in the new movie.
There's a Snake Eyes movie?
And in this movie, he obviously talks a lot, and the origin doesn't cover anything about his inability or him deciding not to talk, like they had in the original G.I. Joe series with Ray Park portraying the part.
I did enjoy some of the characters and stuff in this movie, though I think some of those moments and stuff, those character building moments, I think we maybe didn't let them breathe enough possibly in this movie. I don't know, it seems like when we were having those good moments and stuff, we're all of a sudden cutting away to something new. Like, all right, now we gotta get an action scene in, let's go.
You know, it's funny because I didn't think this was a movie that had too many action scenes. When we reviewed Black Widow very recently, I said, oh, next action scene, oh, next action scene. I did not get that feeling with this film. I thought that all the scenes between the two mains, which is Snake Eyes and Tommy-san, were all very, very good. Maybe a little rushed, but not like overly rushed. Those two together actually made some of the more compelling scenes. And I really enjoyed Snake Eyes as being a conflicted main character. all too often the main characters are good and the bad guys are bad. And in this, he's got a lot of conflict going on, which he has to work through. And I found that pretty enjoyable. It's just that when the action showed up for me, it didn't work. I'm like, oh, the action sequences are kind of filmed decently close up. They're not outrageous, but they're also not very good. I was expecting to see better sword play action scenes, and I didn't get that. So it missed on the action part, but all of the character stuff really worked for me.
There was a lot of movement. I agree with you on the close-up shots. Two ones that in particular that we've seen in kind of the trailers I like. There's like the outdoor scene where we kind of have the swords and it's like raining and stuff. The other one we have the motorcycle chase scene, up on top of the cars and stuff too. Those are two action scenes I enjoyed. The ones where we actually get the other G.I. Joe characters and we get kind of the gunfighting and stuff. Yeah, I wasn't as big of a fan of those action scenes and stuff into this film or whatever. But I don't know, I kind of took a lot of parallels in this film to another movie that we reviewed not too long ago. Kind of like the Mortal Kombat movie a little bit. Though I actually liked this one better. And I think this movie has more of what I would have liked with that Mortal Kombat movie. I really liked the Scorpion Sub-Zero, storyline. And I think if we really just focus on that, I would have enjoyed maybe the Mortal Kombat movie more. And I think this, when we get, with, Tommy-san and with Snake Eyes in this, I think we're showing a little bit more of that, where we have these two iconic G.I. Joe characters and we're giving them a more true or, more enveloped, origin story kind of thing. And I think that's something this movie did well.
There is one character that I liked, but subplot that I hated, where they take Snake Eyes and they take this newly created character, Akiko, and they kind of sort of allude to a potential love story going on there. And I'm like, well, I didn't buy that. There's a very important moment in the film where it becomes important that they have this subplot going on, but then I'm like, I didn't get that sense. It was all really forced upon me as the audience. Yeah, this is how they feel. Yeah, but I didn't see that chemistry on screen.
I don't know. Me, I did, I guess, get some of the hints of, maybe a romance brewing or whatever, but me, I think I took more on, she's kind of an outsider in this clan. She joined this clan as an outsider. So maybe, she's kind of projecting her feelings as an insider and stuff onto him. And maybe she has, different or conflicted feelings with Snake Eyes throughout the film.
Her character is really good, and the actress portrays it very well. It's just, I just didn't like the subplot, which I'm like, man, you took this really strong character, this confident character. She has this defining character trait about her that's set up at the very beginning of being not trustworthy of outsiders, and then you just take it and you throw it away. Basically, that's what it felt like to me. Man, you took this good character that you built and you threw it away because the plot kind of needed it.
Yeah, well, I mean, this movie is about our two characters, not three.
Not three characters. We don't have time for triangles. But we don't have so much time for triangles that we're going to throw Scarlet and the Baroness in here too.
Scarlet and the Baroness, I really could have done without. I mean, it's kind of weird how we get our introduction to those character stuff too, and I really don't want to give into spoilers or anything, but I just really felt it was kind of tacked on. It kind of has a different feel to this movie and stuff. And, it's glad that you mentioned kind of on this not being part of the other kind of G.I. Joe movies that we've seen. This G.I. Joe movie, I think, definitely does go more into magic elements and stuff. But yeah, the G.I. Joe and, Cobra stuff to me just seemed kind of like an added on thing. I think we could have still had just as much stakes, just as much character building, just as much impact if, like I said, that was a late reveal or, after credit scene.
You know what, Matt? I will take the magic elements all day over those stupid mechanical suits that they had them wear in 2009 G.I. Joe. Nope, this one I think does a much better job setting up new G.I. Joe movies. And obviously that's where they're going with it. This is an origin for Snake Eyes, but at the same time, even if the G.I. Joe stuff does feel tacked on, there's room to now expand that universe and get into the Joes and get into the Cobra stuff. if they give that potential future movie as much attention as they gave Snake Eyes, really think it through. Don't just make an action slogfest. It could be good. I personally would say, yeah, go see Snake Eyes. I liked it. I mostly liked it. Admittedly, the end, a little bit of a letdown, the action-y stuff, but all that character stuff, I'm here for.
Yeah, I thought this was a pretty good movie. I guess, like I said, I go back to my original thing. I think it's okay. And really, if they do more of these, character, impact stories where we focus on just a bunch of characters and, their origins and stuff, I'm more interested in that. And it was the G.I. Joe stuff that I was least interested in this film. So it actually gives me a little bit of pause to see where we go from here. If we're focusing more on the G.I. Joe aspect kind of stuff of it, I don't know that I'm interested in it, but if we get more character development, kind of like this movie does, I'm for that. And, for me, some action scenes, I guess, were pretty good that I enjoyed. It was a decent popcorn flick for me.
Of course, we're always interested to know what our audience thinks. Have you seen Snake Eyes? If you have, let us know what you think down below in the comments. We also have other new movie reviews. We have flashback movie reviews. We have longer discussions, and we also do some television series reviews.
Also, be sure to check us out on Facebook. We put a bunch of different posts on there. We also post a day before our videos come out to let you know what the next topic is going to be of our videos. Our reviews come out every Monday and Thursday. For now, I'm Matt here in Michigan. Have a good day.
And I'm Randall here in Texas. See everyone next time.
Next time on No Market Media. Please consider checking out some of our other videos.